the most important thing is the quality of the content and the relevance to the target group, to the content. This is the real success factor, and not so much how does this blend into a publisher's site. I think, in fact, this is a quality that we should try to avoid at all. There can't be any misunderstanding about this is coming from a brand, but I really want to have it. The problem with content where the main strategy is to blend into the publisher's portal is that you start misleading people, and they have kind of ad blockers permanently installed in their head. They get the feeling that this is PR in another form of typography, this is marketing language in another form of design, and they simply don't like a brand doing that with them, and they also question the quality of the publisher doing that. What makes C3 special, I think, is the combination between being able to produce content at scale through 150 journalists and social media experts, technology guys, motion experts, and so on and so forth on the one side. On the other side, most of the content marketing strategies out there are in reality content marketing production strategies. But it's not the full marketing strategy that has to convert into sales, into leads, into thought leadership, into engagement KPIs, and so on and so forth. And in order to do that, you have to first develop coherent content marketing strategy, and then follow up in content production, in media, and so on and so forth. There is this saying that brands have to become publishers. I'm not 100% sure if this is a good idea if you look at the publishing industry and the state it is right now. But the basic idea, of course, is, can we produce communication that is so interesting, so inspiring, or in another way being wanted by the target audience, that it's not seen as a disruption of what they actually want to see. I think we already see in some typical niches that brands play a role that formerly has been played by a classic pure publisher. And I'm not sure how this will develop further, but one thing I'm absolutely sure, in this triangle between mobile and conversational marketing, meaning messaging, programmatic and machine learning, how can you be more relevant on the right time, on the right spot, on the right device, and this more content-driven kind of advertising, we'll see a complete revolution in the way how we talk to actual human beings, and it's conversational. Everything will be conversational. So I guess this role of being a more content-driven, more dialogue, more conversational partner for human beings out there, that will bring that kind of revolution in publishing as well. A lot of people are fleeing from social media to private media, meaning into messengers, into people-to-people networks and stuff like that. And advertising can't follow them there. So the pressure to be really, really good at content-centric strategies will even be more important for brands to survive that step of the consumer, this avoidance step, because social has started to be a very noisy, very brandish environment as well. The question is, do we already live in a content shock, as they used to call it? I think we do, but not because of the sheer quantity and size of the content wave we are seeing, but because there's just too much poor content out there, content that nobody outside of the boardroom of a brand is really interested in. And this is something we have to tackle, because this won't go away. This is a revolution in the way we talk to people as a brand, and we need to be better at it. We need to have more quality in it, and as soon as we are able to tackle that, there will be so many new use cases where just one piece of content in the right moment on the right channel will deliver exactly what the brand wants, but also will be inspiring or helpful for exactly the right kind of people. What we do see is a level of complexity in marketing strategies that has been rising over the last couple of years, and it's our job as agencies to be more complex in order to help a brand to be less complex in execution, from business strategy to marketing strategy to channel strategy to conversion strategy and then attribution amongst our channels. This is not the kind of marketing we did 30 years ago. It needs new kinds of agencies that are more complex, partly. It needs new kind of understanding on the brand side, how people are really moving through digital spheres. And it needs a lot of experimenting, which is not always very common in big companies. We foresee a market where content-driven communication is not an exotic side project of typical classic advertising, but it's the other way around. You still have a little bit of classic advertising and branding, but the majority of communication is conversational, it is content-driven. So first of all, I think we need all of those players. We had New York Times, which they have a fantastic feeling for their specific audience. Why should I, as an agency, try to copy that? I'll work with them together. We have different publishers that are very good on multi-channel strategies. We also need to see that in order to make this happen and make this successful, the brands themselves are starting to build brand newsrooms, and that makes absolutely sense. It makes no sense to give the whole chunk to an agency. It makes no sense to give the whole chunk to a publisher because they all have different interests. It makes sense to go into a new era of collaboration between the three of them. How do you avoid being just opponents in a budgeting game of a brand? I think this will naturally divide between agency setups where the nature is we are so competitive we can't work together with other agencies or publishers, and others that understand that collaboration in complex setups like that are the key to make the client and the client of the client happy. And that's where we want to go. What do you think about the future of advertising? I think there are great examples out there of fantastic, high-quality work, and they will always exist. But there is 90% crap out there, and I'm looking forward to the time when this is not happening on my iPhone.